Okay, we have begun. So, if you couldn't tell from where we currently are, this is gonna be an episode featuring around JJK. Um, and there is one particular thing I want to talk about. A theory I had. So, as many of you JJK fans may know, Sukuna's curse technique is called Shrine. It includes cutting, slashing, and divine flames, also known as Fuga, or open. Um, or that's just what he calls it, I'm not really sure. But there is something awkward about that technique. How come a cutting and slashing technique also gains access to fire? Now, there has been a popular theory, perhaps Sukuna's technique is being around that of the rituals of cooking, cutting up meat, butchering it, and then cooking it with fire. But, oh whoa, another theory I had was, what if Sukuna's technique was never actually shrine, but instead just a cutting and slashing technique? And then, upon consuming his brother in the womb, um, Sukuna gained a fire technique fused with his cutting and slashing. Now, this will include spoilers for a lot of the JJK story. So, if you don't want to be spoiled, click off. Or if you're okay with spoilers, then keep watching because um, I've actually put quite a bit of thought into this one. So, Sukuna's curse technique of cutting and slashing plus fire doesn't really make sense whenever you put it into perspective. How does fire mix with cutting and slashing? It doesn't. Like, it genuinely doesn't. Neither of those two things have anything to do with fire or heat. But if you were to think of the curse techniques as separate and then fuse them, then it could start to make more sense. Now, we know Sukuna is capable of using multiple curse techniques at once. We have seen this with him using Shrine and Megumi's Ten Shadows technique after taking over Megumi's body. This is how he both summoned Maharaga and gained access to the weird lion, tiger funeral, fucking amalgamation thing. I forgot its name. Also, I should probably mention, I have not read the manga. Um, I do not have access to it because I don't know how to use the online sites because I'm stupid, and I cannot be bothered to buy the manga itself because I have nowhere to put it, and I don't know where to buy it. And I don't have to wait like ages for a damn book to arrive, only to read one chapter and gain absolutely no info. Anyway, so my theory is, what if Sukuna, upon consuming his brother in the womb, fused his brother's curse technique with his own, inadvertently? So, pretty much what I was thinking, what if Sukuna's original technique was cutting and slashing? Then, um, upon consuming his brother, he gained fire, and then the curse techniques fused. Now, we do know twins inside of JJK, or like siblings in the womb, have a lot, and I mean a lot of relevance. I mean, just look at Mai and Maki. Maki had an incomplete, heavily restriction until Mai died. And Mai had a simple curse technique of construction. Now, with that being relevant and twins having a lot of relevancy inside of the actual lore of JJK, it's not too far-fetched to believe that maybe two siblings could be born with two different curse techniques. Um, and I was thinking, as I've already stated, what if Sukuna consumed his brother in the womb, and then the curse techniques fused? So Sukuna's original curse technique of cutting and slashing, and his brother's curse technique of fire, that could possibly be weaker or stronger than Jogo's, what if they fused, creating Shrine? Now, I want to say this. I want to quickly put something out there. Domain expansions seem to be different depending on the user of the domain. A key example of this is Yuta. Yuta's curse technique is copy, and it allows him to copy any curse technique that he wants. Now, after gaining the Shikigami version of Rika, Um, there was like a little bit of a change in that curse technique where he had to, where Rika had to consume a part of had to consume a part of someone's body, and um, Yuta would only gain access to the copy techniques if Rika was fully manifested, and Rika's manifestation could only last up to 5 minutes. But we see in in his domain expansion, Authentic Mutual Love, we see that it has like ribbons and all, and the sure hit effect of the domain is a whole bunch of katanas, each imbued with a different curse technique that Yuta had previously used. For example, curse speech, or Sukuna's shrine, or sky manipulation, like Fin Icebreaker and all that. But how would love play into the concept of a copying technique? It doesn't. So, domain expansions, as I just established, should probably have a little bit of connection to the user's actual emotions and mental state. For example, Yuta's domain expansion is called Authentic Mutual Love because of his connection to Rika. And that brings me back to Malevolent Shrine. Malevolent Shrine, or well, the Shrine technique, um, the domain expansion doesn't seem to show any form of fire. And we can see this in both the design and the sure hit. The sure hit effect is a whole bunch of slashes. Cutting, dicing, chopping, blitzering, all that. But there isn't a single hint of fire. And we can also see this in the appearance of the domain. A large like a large open space with a large shrine on the top of a pile of stone. And that shrine also has a large mouth in the center. So, yeah, you get the idea. If you've seen JJK, then you've seen the Malevolent Shrine. And something I want to point out, there isn't a single hint of fire. And that's awkward, because if the shrine technique was fire and cutting, wouldn't it include fire in the sure hit effect of the domain expansion, aka the innate technique being imbued into a barrier? But it doesn't. Where's the fire? Where's the fire, Malevolent Shrine? There isn't any. Now, this could just be me forgetting something, but also we see this in the innate domain, where inside of Yuji's body, it's just the same thing, just inside of a large, like, rib cage. Like, around, like, shrunken down in the ribs. And it doesn't make sense of why the curse technique's domain expansion doesn't include fire. Unless Shrine isn't actually just cutting and slashing on fire, but it's just cutting and slashing. That would make sense. The domain expansion isn't based off of the Shrine technique, but Sukuna's original technique of just purely cutting and slashing. And then the fire aspect of Shrine came from his brother upon consumption, which then so then the fire embedded itself in Sukuna's original cutting and slashing technique. Now, this could also be seen in Yuji Ichidori. Yuji, from what I'm aware of, never uses Fuga or fire. I mean, we see him use piercing blood, but we never see him use fire. And that could strengthen the theory. You see, what if Sukuna's curse technique was originally cutting and slashing, and then by being in Yuji's body, the original curse technique slowly imprinted itself on Yuji? From what I'm aware of, we don't see Yuji use Fuga or any form of fire, not even in Modulo. We see him using blood manipulation, and we see him use cutting and slashing in Modulo, clearly. I mean, we all know what he did. But, we don't see any form of fire. Now, that could mean that instead of gaining the full shrine technique that we see Sukuna using, with cutting, slashing, and fire, he simply gained the original, cutting and slashing. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this is like a actual possible like strengthened theory. This is just a loose little shower of thought that I had that I actually put some thought behind, and it can have some logical evidence. But then again, as I've already stated, I have not read the manga, and I'm probably not going to. I'm probably gonna just watch the anime adaptation, and none of what I should be. Everything I've been saying should not be taken as fact. This is not factual. This is simply a fun little theory I came up with, and I wanted to share it with you all. Okay, world creator, thank you for the free fucking heart attack. Anyway, um, yeah, this is none of this is fact. This is all just funny theorizing. So don't take this as serious. And if I slipped over anything, do not blame me in the comments because, um, as I literally just stated, I have not read the manga. Um, so yeah, just a funny little theory I came up with, and I wanted to share with you all. Also, since I got time, I quickly want to go over, a few things I've been wanting to do. For example, more collaborations. I've been wanting to collaborate with Pixel Scout and Axolotl Plays More, as well as possible other YouTube channels. And I've been wanting to try do musical content. I've been wanting to do like karaoke because I remember when I first made a channel, it was live. It was a real life one. I am ashamed of myself. Okay, we aren't going to go down that rabbit hole. But one of the many things I did was karaoke, and I just thought, wouldn't it be fun to do karaoke again? A few songs I would probably do if I do end up doing karaoke is I Can't Decide by Scissor Sisters and probably like oh shit, no, I'm not sure. Well, fuck, now I'm not sure. Anyway, um, so, yeah, just wanted to get that out there. I've been hoping to do collaborations and singing more. I also want to quickly mention something. I put up a post saying that I was a part of a new YouTube acting series called Parts and Pizza, made by my good friend Pixel Scout, and I've been thinking, what if I were to upload behind the scenes? Just funny little bloopers that would be made into shorts. Nothing major, nothing like over dramatic, over the top, just little bloopers cut down into funny little bits. Oh god, there goes the alarm. If you don't remember, I stated I would put an alarm in videos or like IRL, so then that way I could tell whenever I've gone over the recommended like recording time, so I can download this easier and not just get a bullshit recording taking up space on my phone. Anyway, yeah, we're already going past time now. So, Jesus fucking Christ, stay away from the edges. Okay, so yeah, with that, I want to just say, we're done. We're done now. Um, yeah, I'll probably start trying to upload more. I just keep on forgetting. Sorry, I'm a dumbass. Anyway, gonna cut off and just gonna end this off now. So, oh, look, what? Um, bye bye, I guess.